Stephen, how are you? I liked your answer on the power outage.
Oh, yeah.
A flux capacitor.
Yeah, right.
Not around that.
Oh, goodness.
It's 5:30, so I will call our meeting to order. Michelle, if you do roll call, please.
Steve Herron,
Here.
Danny Workmeister,
Here.
Gina Brown,
Here.
Carol Longcomb,
Here.
Nicole Jacobson, absent.
All right, if you'd please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the agenda for this evening.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried. Let's see, agenda item number 3, public forum. No guests here, you guys are on the agenda.
Yep, number 6.
Number 6, yep. Okay, so we will skip to item number 4, city announcements.
I don't really have anything. You looking for it?
Okay. Item number 5 is the consent agenda, which of course will be one action unless any council member wants to remove anything.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried. Item number 6, Little Critter Splash Pad Durant and presentation. What would you like to start with that?
You want us to just see, or wait, I guess. Should we just stay here?
No, that's right. You can get up.
Oh.
Come up here. And,
Yeah, I have some microphones sitting along the counters.
We'll talk.
Maybe.
We'll talk loud.
Yeah.
All right, we're just going to give a little update first here on our progress since we last spoke to you, which was in October.
Yeah.
So after talking with you guys, we started working on becoming a nonprofit. So in January, we had achieved our nonprofit status, and now we are a 501c3 and can get tax exempt for any donations. Currently, we have, so the 2 different ways we kind of talked to you guys about doing the sponsorships is the water elements we talked about or the donor clubs. So currently, right now, we have 4 elements that are sponsored, and then we have a total of, on top of that, $100,200. So for a total between the elements and monetary donations, our total is $151,035.
so the 100,000, what that was again, the pledged, don't cash donations.
The whole 150 is pledged, but 4 out of our 10 water elements are sponsored.
Mhm.
So just the breakdown would be.
Okay.
Yep.
So what does that mean? Tell me, explain to me that those 4 water elements are.
It was a part of our original presentation. So
Okay.
there's 10 main water elements.
Okay.
Those are the actual
Thank you,
structures that.
So you
makes-
pledge a
right.
flower, that's
Well,
worth.
yeah.
It's the what?
You
like a-
pledge a flower, that squirts water.
The flower.
Oh, it's the different things that you're going to
Yeah.
put out there.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
when you said elements, I'm thinking.
Yep. So
Okay.
4
So
out of
there's
10
actual things are going to be.
It's just an idea for a larger donor
Okay.
opportunity, and it's gone over pretty well.
So what is like one of those?
Between 4,000 and 34,000.
Oh, is that all? 4 don't sound so bad. That's all.
Yeah, so
Okay.
there's a good range of prices
Okay.
for
Okay.
people. We just were sharing that we have 4 out of 10 of those sponsored, plus an additional 100,000, so a total of 150,000 in pledging, which
Very
we
good.
thought was very good.
Yep.
Okay. So our other fundraising efforts so far is we've been reaching out, talking to local businesses. We've been giving them little packets that talk about the different ways to donate, and our timeline. So we've just been, reaching out, talking to business owners and going through that information with them. You may have seen we have our first fundraising event coming up this Saturday. We're having a puzzle party out at the Legion. The ladies that used to do the Festival of Trees, that used to do that fundraising event, let us take it over for this year. So currently we have 17 teams signed up. They're teams of 8. And then we're going to have a popcorn bar, an intermission minute-to-minute game, and we have 12 silent auction items. So we're really excited for this Saturday, and I think it'll be a good event.
Yep, we have some big posters to showcase everything and spread the word a little bit.
Yeah.
And then just update on the grants. So I applied for a grant on February 28th. It's called the Glenn Taylor Foundation, or Taylor Family Farms Foundation grant. Glenn Taylor, he owns the Timberwolves in Minneapolis and owns a lot of farm ground in Northwest Iowa and Southwest Minnesota. And all the money raised from his farmland, he put into this foundation starting last year. This year, his focus was on youth and outdoor recreation and health, so we thought it fit really well, and O'Brien County was one of the eligible counties to apply. So I applied for that. That one is a match program up to typically 10 to 50,000, but you can apply for more. So I applied for 100,000. And then we'll hear about that mid-April if we receive any funding from that one. And then the one that we're here to discuss tonight is the Iowa, through the Iowa DNR, it's the Land and Water Conservation Fund. It started in the 60s. They funded tons of parks and outdoor recreation projects in Iowa. Fairly recently, the last time they posted was in 2023. They did Cherokee just put up a skate park. So I saw that was one local project, but pretty much any town around here, if you look around, they funded something in that town. Swanson, like you guys talked about last time, was funded that way. So
How much can you get up to them? I
that
don't
one,
understand.
it can be half your project.
Oh, it can be that much?
So, yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's 50-50 matching as well. It can fund half the project. So right now, we have 150,000, but the gal I've been in contact with, Jessica Flatt, who is also talked to Michelle, said you actually can apply for more. So we could apply for 250,000, and then it's due March 14th. And then if they think that if they choose you to receive the funding, and then next summer when the official grant agreement comes out and you only have matching up to a funding for a certain amount, then you would just lower the amount at that time. So she just said, shoot for the stars, try to do half your project, and then if you're at 200,000 next summer, then you can put that amount down. I have a lot of the grant pretty much all completely ready to submit.
Is it 40
It
pages
has to
too, like
be,
this?
it has to be submitted through a city or a county conservation board. So I provided 2 pieces of paper to Michelle, a resolution form and a risk assessment. They're both pretty simple forms. Those would be the only requirements of the city. And then also, if you answer yes to the question on the risk assessment, then you have to provide your last audit. So those are the only things required by the city. She did mention that it's actually a reimbursement, so the city would have to pay that portion, and then you provide receipts, and they give you that money back. So that's kind of the gist of the grant.
Will this have to be done to them constantly, or once you get the grant, you don't have to give them any information anymore? You know, do you have to give them updates and stuff
Once every 5 years.
once every 5 years? Okay, I kind of wondered, because it looked like there was.
And I know, it's so long. I mean, I'm so busy, I really didn't have time to read all that Michelle provided me.
Yeah, it's the same as what they do at Swanson.
I was gonna say,
They're supposed to
I think
update
you
every
know
5
a little bit
years.
more about it,
Okay.
But it doesn't always happen every 5 years.
Right. Well, and then I've seen someplace on here where it talks about how many different things that you have to keep up to, and if you do the audit, then you don't have to, you go way down. I thought, I just just wondered if that had to be done yearly or something, but you say if we try, okay.
One of the things to keep in mind is we technically, the city does not get an audit performed. Ours is classified as an examination.
Right.
So we wouldn't be able to answer yes to was an audit performed, so we'd have to go through all these questions.
Yuck.
It's okay.
It's pretty straightforward. but-
All right. I just haven't looked at it, but.
So based on what we've recently found out with this particular grant at Swanson, any risk, anything to keep in mind of the city being a sponsor and recipient of this that you be aware of?
I mean, I think the park is always gonna be the park, and
Right, never get
it's
rid of
never
it.
gonna, yeah,
Change.
so I don't see any risk in it, as far as that goes.
Yeah.
What type of maintenance? I mean, other than checking it, like when you do the resurging or the reusing of the water, does that have to be checked? How often?
You covered that in your presentation, didn't
With the
you?
grant?
No,
No,
no.
with the actual, once you get it set
Switching
up.
over to operationally, once it's operating, you know, with the,
Well,
It would be the spring and fall cleanup, and then the minimal, probably go there when we do chores every morning and
Oh, and
just
then-
check everything, and
I mean, yeah, and we're happy to come back and talk about the project more. We mostly just want to know, is this grant okay for us to submit
Sure.
through the city?
So, I've got a couple questions. I take it you're going for option 2, which is the 500,000 option? Okay. Because last time you were going for the lower, but with this grant, is that what kind of pushed you that way, or did you always been?
No, that was always our goal. We just had presented the two options because we, with a little bit increased maintenance with the chemical levels and everything, but then I thought when we got the okay, it was for either system.
you presented it as either based
Yeah.
on what your fund,
Yeah.
your
You had
fundraising
to
was.
kind of see once the
Yeah.
list, they come up with the dollars,
Yeah.
and then you can drop that.
So with your people that are sponsoring an element, is there going to be some sort of recognition for those
Yep.
people? What's that
Yes.
gonna be?
So if they choose and whatever they want, our plan is to put a plaque next to the element with, if they want to do it in memory of someone or to say their business name or family name,
Well, that's
they'll
nice.
get to decide what they want on that plaque.
Okay.
Very nice.
Yep.
So it's already been determined that we're just a flow through, right, basically? When the funds come to us and then we go let the committee or whatever, your.
For what funding are you talking
For the
about?
for the
Oh, the
grant.
grant. Yeah, so the grant's
It's
just that you would have to, yeah, you have to officially submit it through a city or a county
We can't
conservation board.
submit it through the nonprofit.
Okay.
Is that true for the Taylor Farms?
No, you can, no.
That's a
A
direct
lot of
for
them
you?
just, most of the grants, you can just be nonprofit.
And is, that's upfront, it's not reimbursement, the Taylor Farms?
It's it's a foundation fund. It's like a allotment of.
Do they just give you the funds once you're approved, or do you have to spend the money and they reimburse you, like with the I will?
I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't. They didn't have a lot of information on the grant. It's just became about last year. I applied for it. They said we'll hear back. So I'm assuming we'll hear more details on it from when they accept or not.
Another question that came up while we were talking here is that the application and so on has to be submitted by a county commission or conservation commission.
City.
City
or
or
county.
county conservation board.
The city doesn't
And
have one.
it's the city.
It doesn't have to be
board.
conservation, it can be a
Work
city,
then.
City person.
a city, a city can submit,
entity,
right?
City, yeah.
Or
city
a
entity.
county conservation can.
Yeah.
So the city has no tail on it, which is just the city.
Just, yeah, it has to.
Yeah, and
it
I
can be
can
submitted
submit
by
it.
It's just like when we do it for the theater too,
Okay.
you know, that we say that we're sponsoring them to do it.
Okay. I guess that's really all I had. I was just more interested in the backdrop on these, like this questionnaire and so on. So then all the risk is on the city then, when it comes down to fill this out?
The risk assessment and the resolution is the only forms required. It's a very lengthy application. Because some of the funding is federally funded, so a lot of it has some federal requirements. So this is very, very, very small compared to what I've already done, to be honest with you.
Yeah, right.
So,
But kind of an add-on question that would be, it's like, so the grant is technically, you're doing the work of filling out the grant, but the grant has to be submitted by the city. So in the eyes of correctness and everything of the grant, that would be the city submitting the grant, right?
Make sure it's on everything's up.
we just put, there's just a section where you put the organization name, and then I just type in City of Paullina, then you put the project title, and then that's where you would put the splash pad, so. And everything goes first when you submit it to this local gal from the Iowa DNR, and she reads through everything first, makes sure everything's correct before it goes further, so it's a pretty,
So a question on the application, under site name, it's putting a city park and the state of Iowa. You know why the state of Iowa is on there?
I don't know.
Who typed this into the form?
I didn't,
It's on the resolution page.
I don't know. I didn't.
What page is that?
Third line on the page.
Is that number 11?
Well,
Okay, okay, that's the one I got.
Page 14 or 11.
Yep, okay.
I can provide.
I'll take that off.
I think it might have been my husband, honestly, because he was helping with a couple forms, so I.
No, I filled that in.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Which also, the and the state of Iowa shouldn't be on there. The site name is Paullina City Park.
So then we go down to,
No, because it's talking about, it is supposed to be on there, because it's acquiring lands and development outdoor recreation facility on the following described projects for the enjoyment of the citizenry of the city of Paullina and the state of Iowa.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's on there. Because it's not just for the city of Paullina, it's for everybody to enjoy.
and why not say the United States of America?
Well, I suppose it could say that.
Yeah, now don't have any other ideas.
That's federal funds in it? I don't know about that.
It's a fish and wildlife fund. It's, if you read the grants for Swanson, it's fish and wildlife.
I hear anything federal and just, you know. Anyway, on to question number 3. Shouldn't that be the city of Paullina, since we're gonna be providing the operation and maintenance of the facility instead of the little critters splash pad? Because once it's built, your organization is kind of gotta go by the wayside, right?
What, are you talking about a question on the risk assessment, or?
No, I'm talking on the resolution page. You know, just wondering if that.
Where are you looking at
Down where-
Number
Well,
3?
It says you have to have the ability and the intention to finance its share of the cost of the project. The project will be operated and maintained at the expense of said little critter splash pad for public outdoor recreational use.
That's what I'm saying, shouldn't that be the city of Paullina, since we're supplying that? The operation and maintenance of the.
And I mean, these are definitely details we would
Let's see that.
triple check
Right.
before submitting. Our goal, yeah, tonight is get the approval to submit.
So it's gonna be operated, maintained at the expense of,
I think it should stay that way, because they're the ones that are doing it and
yeah,
sponsoring
but,
it.
well, they're not gonna operate it in the city.
In the future.
I can
Once it's-
clarify with the
once
girl
it's
from the
built.
Iowa DNR.
Yeah.
where-
Okay, that'd be good.
Yeah,
I don't think
and,
that-
yeah, we would clarify and double check anything before we submit, but.
I wanted to send back on a little bit of technicality. you know,
Right.
Yeah, that's what I meant by saying, when you submit it, she's gonna look through it all, and if anything was filled out a little bit incorrectly, then she's gonna have you fix it before she sends it on to the ones who actually review
That'd be great. And when does this one get put in?
it. March 14th.
Okay.
We just wanna be careful that a resolution isn't inconsistent
Yeah.
with what.
If you find out anything, have her.
So-
And the other one that you're doing with that Taylor Family Grant, have you sent that one already? Okay. And when will you hear on that one at all? or-
The middle of April.
So we can certify to questions 1 through 6, so we can do that.
I think all they're looking for is that they can go forward with the, I mean, they get to what, March 14? So they're kind of running out of time.
And we don't have-
So is the city gonna back this or not? And we can always go back and,
I have no problem with the project, I just want to make
Yep.
sure that
It's all
Yeah,
done,
and
right?
we'll go through that before we sit
Yeah,
down.
good.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's some CFR numbers and so on here that are
Mhm.
federal, I can't really.
So, yeah.
Did anybody read those?
You kidding?
Sure. Is that what you want to hear?
In our
guys read this,
Oh,
yeah.
every word,
Yeah.
this. That's horrible.
I mean, I think it's a really great opportunity because if you look at the map of projects in Iowa, almost every single town has one, if not multiple. If that many people are doing it, to me, it must be an okay grant to use. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a well-used one.
That's a lot of work.
Oh my gosh, when I saw this, I thought, you girls.
You are.
I'm sure our dentist read this,
Brett has kind of,
She
Brett
puts
has
those headphones on and listens
Yeah,
to
while she's working on your teeth, she's
Yeah.
listening to this.
Yeah, right.
Brett has kind of had
Necessarily
this
good
grant
thing.
and it's put so much work into it.
right?
But now, what's the other one like? Is nothing like this, that Taylor
Well,
one?
it's
Fill it in?
It's like a family that has money to give out, so it's
So,
pretty
put it in that
basic.
box.
It's basic, yeah.
Nice if you've seen that one or heard of it.
Yes.
It's a little, yeah, I heard of it from someone at work actually, but yeah, it's a lot easier to fill out.
So if we're gonna act on this resolution, what total estimated cost are you gonna put in here? Because we would have to have that in our resolution.
For what we're gonna apply for?
No, this one's the total estimated cost of the project.
Oh,
thing.
I have that
Is
number.
it 550 or is it
Well,
500?
it goes based on the actual, what do you call it? Quote or whatever.
Yeah, we
So
made our fundraising goal a little bit
Our
higher than
fundraising
the
was 550.
actual
So,
project.
which I think would be a fine number to put in here.
Yeah, like I think it's like 520,000 something. Because I think, I don't know, I might want to match up to the actual total on the grant, so I can get that number to you. I just don't have it right now. It's, yeah, $520,970.
Okay.
So what's your backup plan if you don't get the total dollars that you want to do?
Well, if you qualify for the grant,
Right.
you get your money you request. They don't give you less. So if we request 250 and we meet all the criteria, we would receive the money.
Oh, it's here, DD or?
If you, as long as everything's filled out correctly, you meet all the criteria in their little grading rubric, they give out $2.8 million a year, I think is on there. So they basically rank you out by your score of how you applied. Last year, 2023, there was 9 applicants, all 9 received what they asked for. So as long as you have the match for it, you get what you request, so.
That was the number of grants, I assume that was submitted that made the availability of the money.
9, yeah.
Yeah, you have no clue how many applied.
Mm-mm. No.
Okay.
Another blank, another blank on the resolution is the percentage of the actual cost of the project. Is that going to be 50%? Is that
They do 50/50.
correct?
Yeah.
Since that point, so we need to fill that in for the resolution. Are we?
Or are you going for more than that? That's only
Well,
250,000.
our goal was to request 250,000,
Okay.
and hopefully by next summer, when there would be an actual grant agreement signed, we would have that matching.
So that would be the right amount to ask for that we're saying that we're asking them for 50% of the project. Okay.
So yeah, it's technically a little less than 50%, but yeah.
So by next summer, or this upcoming summer, I guess, would be, or are you talking?
It's a
26?
long grant process, so we would get notified in May or June if we were selected.
Of this year?
Mhm.
Okay.
And then next summer, after they put a bunch of background work in that I don't know what they'll do, next summer of 2026, they would sign an official grant agreement, and that's when you need to make sure
You have
Your map.
Okay. Any other questions, or is there, I would entertain a motion to approve this resolution if there's such interest?
I'll make a motion to allow the three workshops around, right? Do we have them in the package?
Page 11.
Oh, so this is.
This is the resolution.
Yeah, the resolution you're looking at, where you were.
Well, let's just abbreviate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I move resolution on acquisition or development for outdoor recreation, whereas the city of Paullina is interested in acquiring lands or developing outdoor recreational facilities on the following described project with enjoyment of the citizenry of site name Paullina City Park and the state of Iowa. Site address is East County Street. Project title Little Critters Splash Pad. Total estimated cost to be filled in later.
529.70.
529.70. Brief description of the property is splash pad. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the city of Paullina that the project above be authorized and that be further resolved that said city of Paullina make application to the Iowa Department of Natural Resources to seek land and water conservation fund financial assistance from the National Park Service in the amount of, what's that number,
50%.
50%.
50%, okay,
The actual
of
cost.
the actual cost of the project. Amen.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, further discussion. Hearing none, Michelle, do you
Yeah.
roll call vote, please?
Carol Hunkell,
Aye.
Gina Brown,
Aye.
Denny Workmeister,
Aye.
Steve Herron.
Aye.
That motion passes with all ayes. Right. Thanks for your work
Thank you,
so
ladies.
far, and your
Yes.
ongoing work, and
Good luck.
I know. You're young to do this.
see you on Saturday at the public party.
Perfect. Get ready.
Yes. Okay, agenda item number 7, garbage contract. We decided, you as the council decided to go out for bids, and this is a resolution to approve solicitation of bids for the garbage service. I would entertain a motion to approve that resolution, which you have on page 13.
I'll make a motion to approve that resolution. Let me read it now or wait for the motion? A second.
You can read it now as well.
A resolution to allow the city clerk to solicit bids for garbage service for the city of Paullina. Let me keep going.
Sure.
Be it resolved, that as council of the city of Paullina, Iowa, to allow the city clerk to solicit bids from multiple contractors interested in providing garbage services to the city of Paullina.
All right, we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Denny? Discussion?
Do we need to put garbage and recycle? Or is garbage sufficient? I just seen it now as I was reading it. You think that's okay? I mean, I didn't know. I don't want to tell them that we're not going to pick up our recycling.
I think they go hand in hand.
Yeah, that's with the service. It's with the garbage service contract,
Okay.
so.
I didn't
that
know.
would go hand in hand.
I just know there's lots of times it doesn't take much for a technicality.
Exactly. Okay, any questions or discussion on going out to bid?
Well, on our bid sheet, what looks like that, right?
But
Bid sheet on this.
Bid sheet, you can list
we could put it on too. Yeah, there you go.
the other ones.
And you don't have any wondering.
And if you're going to put in garbage and recycling services, in there, that's fine, if you want to amend your motion.
Well, like you said, if she just writes it on when she sends out for the bids, I think that should be
Okay.
sufficient.
All right, any other discussion on out to bid? Hearing none, Michelle, please.
Steve Herron,
Aye.
Denny Workmeister,
Aye.
Jane Underhill?
Aye.
Carol Humphrey?
Aye.
Motion passes with all ayes. Okay, thank you. Item number 8, budget update.
I'm gonna meet with Ryan on Thursday. We're gonna have to make, every department in the general fund is gonna have to make some sort of cuts. We absolutely have to.
And I think they all know that, don't they?
I believe so, yeah.
I think you kind of told them.
I've done some figuring on my own, and I'll go over it with, each department. But, yeah, it's, we're over $1 million in the general fund for our budget.
For our requested.
Okay, yeah.
Ryan coming Thursday.
Yeah,
You might need to come in.
might be a good idea for somebody else to
What
come
time?
too. Is it 1 or 2? I'll check.
Okay, sure, you let me know.
So what's their total budget right now? Over a million or?
In general, it's over $1 million.
Is it
What's your
general? It's
revenue
over a million. Okay.
expected?
In general, well, it's not over $1 million.
I'm remembering like 240,000, is that?
For revenues, I'd have to look. I don't have the revenue here, I just have the expenses.
That number is our levy amount. And then
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
then
Oh, the
we'll-
levy amount.
And then we have a little bit more.
Yeah, our general levy amount is $284,645. We can levy for, our benefits, and then liability and property insurance, so.
Would you repeat that one? 284, what did you say?
284,645.
Thanks.
And we've got, a couple departments that have almost $200,000
I know.
budget.
It's just got to be calculated.
And I spoke with Brian Feltman, and he's very receptive to.
Well,
No,
there's nothing you can do.
I can't,
No,
yeah.
No, it's not like you're trying to cut
No.
back for the heck of it.
No,
You're doing it because of the levy.
Levy and taxes
Yep.
on the residents.
Right, we have to, that's what we're here for, to keep our taxes where we're spending the money.
Can I ask another question?
Sure, quickly.
Michelle, when you're talking with Ryan over the fire department budget, have you got figures for what the townships are expected to contribute
it's around 42,000.
collectively?
Yeah,
It's always around that.
yeah. And, just looking at other towns, some of them come close to matching what the township dollars give. Marcus, their fire department is not part of the city anymore.
Marcus isn't either?
They pulled away.
And they gave, and the city gives 16,000 towards the fire department. That's it.
Whoa.
Per year.
Per
That's
year.
it.
Yikes. I don't know how they're doing it.
Even Primgar's budget for the fire department is considerably lower than ours.
Well, I knew you said something about that.
Yeah.
Heart attack when she's seen it.
Okay, well, thanks for continuing to work on that and
Yep.
get to where we need to get to.
Mhm.
All right.
And I have talked to Maureen. She's going to get with me this week. She was gone to Arizona, so she's back. And,
Mhm.
we'll get something set up to work together, and then so we can be ready when we have that schedule worked out. Yeah.
I can't be here Thursday, but if you have anything Tuesday or Wednesday, I don't know if you, well, how soon you're bringing your people in.
I just probably talk to them all one at a time.
Oh, one day. Okay.
All right. Item number 10, drone-based pavement inspection at the airport. We have some information in the packet, I believe.
Yeah.
Don't we have to schedule a workshop?
Yeah.
Did we skip one?
Oh,
We did.
I did.
Yeah. I was
Skip
gonna say,
it.
It'd be good for me if we did it middle of March. Any time to get everything together.
Okay.
And I just want to go over everything at that workshop.
Okay.
So our next council meeting is middle March, March
Yeah.
17th, so probably after that.
So that would be good.
Okay.
Do you want to pick a date to throw out to the?
Or put us out maybe a couple.
Thursday.
March 20. Or is the following Monday too late,
No.
March 24th, if that works with people? Give you a little bit more time to meet
Yeah.
with Maureen in the weekend?
So 20th or 24th?
Maybe
Twentieth,
not.
I can't be
Okay.
there.
How about the 24th?
Monday, should be good.
Okay. So that would be a week from
Yes.
March 24th. Okay, so I don't have my calendar either, so.
Make a motion to set that, or just? Somebody would like to make a motion to set a budget workshop for Monday, March 24th?
So move.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion?
5:30?
All right, 30. You okay with that, Steve, for your motion? Gina, second?
Yep.
Okay. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried. All right, now to the drone inspection at the airport. So I'd entertain a motion to approve that inspection. And then we can have discussion if we have a motion in a second.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Page 14. So Carol made a motion.
I'll second.
All right, discussion.
I actually received an email. I see, from, how it started was I received an email and I wasn't sure if it was for real. So I did look at the names on the email and they're all part of Iowa State. And so I did reach out to Brian Feltman and he was aware of this. It's something that he had wanted. Yeah. So it's free of charge. I think it'd be a good idea. It'll give us an idea on what, where we're at with our runway.
I do think you maybe want to change your date because he's going for the date that you told him no.
Yeah.
Oh, you're now versus not? We're now
Yeah, I
available.
have no idea
versus
what you
not.
put now, and I think you took that as a now, it means a
Yeah.
yes.
Oh,
So that's the one you didn't want.
no.
Yeah.
I'll reach out to him again.
Yep.
So what does this give us? I guess I'm not too excited about it, because it's backed by another federal agency that doesn't need to be spending money. Anyway.
Well, it's with Iowa State and they're doing a study, they're doing a study on like the pavement integrity.
So when you say Iowa State, you're meaning the Iowa State University,
Yes.
not the state of Iowa, right?
Yes. Yeah. And I believe he's a grad student. It's-
So didn't we just have the runway done?
We had it slurried and I did tell him
We
that.
did, yeah, just last year.
Yeah.
So is he looking at the runway or is he looking at areas off of the runway?
I believe it's the runway.
Pavement inspection.
Because he asked if we'd had any
Updates.
updates to the
Well, since
runway.
18, he asked about it.
The way you read this is it looks like as much as evaluated ours, it looks like they're trying to come up with a way of using drones for inspections as a more efficient way to inspect airport runways in the future. So if you read that second paragraph on page 14, we're trying to find best practice guidelines for the drone and camera model, drone data resolution, data collection, altitude, et cetera.
I just don't think it's money that our government needs to be spending to be put in better places. The other thing is, I don't know if you noticed, but our signature previously had it. He had, what was the other one?
He and him.
Yeah, so it's DEI. Which I don't know what we would be associated with that.
It's what?
DEI?
I've been noticing that a lot of correspondence I get says this now.
I did see on your second one that you didn't include that though, so. But, that's fine, I think.
So this is funded through the ISU then?
FFA, or FAA. This is sponsored, right here.
Yeah, the last sentence of the first paragraph, ongoing FAA funded research.
I just thought it would be a good way to see where it's kind of at.
Yeah.
If it's free.
Well, this looks to me like it's just a project that he's doing
Yes.
for his graduate
At school.
research.
Yeah,
And
right, that's
it.
what I think.
It doesn't have anything to do with it. I mean, they're inspecting the runway pavement, but
Right.
it doesn't have to do with an airport inspection for the city, so to speak, to approve or disapprove the condition of the
Right.
runway.
He'll just give us his findings, whatever he finds.
Well, he may not. I mean, he may just be for him.
If he's a grad student, it'll go into a dissertation.
Any other discussion or hearing none, I assume we're ready to vote. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye.
Aye.
Divided in 2 nays. That means that the motion does not pass.
Okay.
Doesn't know accordingly. All right, we'll move on to item number 11, water calibration. We've discussed a few times. I'd entertain a motion to approve the engineering for water calibration.
I'll make a motion to approve the engineering for water calibration.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All right. Discussion. Got some information, a little bit of information in your packet. And do you go through the 3 things that they laid out and the one that they determined was already done, just so everybody's clear?
Well, the uncalibrated for the hydraulic model has been done already. So the calibration for the hydraulic model, which is 9,500, would basically just be for the hydrants and the pipes we have in town. It would tell us what kind of condition that they are in, map them all out for us so we know where everything is.
That'll be nice.
Yeah.
And then the other one, the hydraulic model update and facility plan, that is just strictly for the water treatment part of it.
This is the manganese issue, right?
The 12.5.
Yeah.
The 9.5 is our pipes in town that we have.
Okay.
And you said part of it we got done already.
Yes, that is why that, I think that was 12 before, somewhere in there, and now it's 9,500.
So the motion to approve engineering for water calibration, which item or items in dollar amount or dollar amounts does that include? The 22, the full, these 2?
I mean, I guess more than anything, the 9,500 for the,
Hydrants.
if you guys still want to go back to the treatment plant, we can do that.
What do you think?
I mean, honestly, I'd like both of them to get approved. Just so we can see where we're at with, I mean, what they engineer for the treatment plant isn't, I mean, it'll be good for years down the road, and we can, at least we'll know where we're at with it and what we should be putting aside for it.
Do you know how long before they can come and do this? Like spring, summer? And you, I mean, we have to get on the list.
I mean, they would start this fairly soon.
Michelle, do we have, we 9,500 into that?
We have
Water.
Water department.
We're good there.
Yeah. What did I just say?
That's what we have to do yet, that's what we have fiscal year.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's where you're showing on this sheet yet that we've got 43% spent. Can I look at that? Is that okay?
Yeah, that one's okay. I
Number
pulled one
seven?
I pulled one as of today.
Okay.
I know some of these things are in the budget, but we gotta make sure that we have enough money there to cover what's in the current budget.
Right.
Plus adding this to it, so.
If you add another 9 or 20 or whatever we're gonna do.
Yeah, if we approve the, say, the 9,500 tonight, is the remainder going to the next fiscal year then?
Yeah, that would be fine.
You'd probably rather have that for sure.
Right, and that'll help our fire service too.
Okay.
And I mean, honestly, that, I don't feel like that, or the water treatment thing would be a thing that we would, is like on our right now to-do list, to where if we waited till next budget and, it would be
Okay.
fine.
Okay. And they'll work with that, and it'll be okay.
Yep.
And the motion as it was made to approve engineering for water calibration, that specifically is the 9,500 for the hydraulic calibration.
Right. Yep.
It doesn't, that motion doesn't include the treatment plan.
Okay. I'll do that this year.
All right, any other questions or
I have
discussion?
one, if I can ask. Kelly, just so I understand, the 12.5 is for a facility, it's for the design of a facility to house a treatment plant. And the treatment that they said the water in Paullina needs is for manganese only?
Well, I mean, they would, basically, yeah.
And manganese is not it's not considered harmful at this point in time?
There's, I think we can have 0.3, I think, parts per million, and we're always under it, but we're not that far away from it.
But even if you go over, it's not an issue per se, or is it a health issue if you go over that number?
I mean, the DNR will step in at, if you continually get over 0.3, the DNR will step in. Manganese is up, metal that's in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's currently not a controlled,
He said it was a rising concern or something. He used some sort
Something
of,
like that.
yeah.
so the way I understood it is that currently if it's over 0.3, it's not a limiting factor, but it may sometime in the future or near future be a control
factor.
one, and maybe.
Yep. So let's.
Do I understand that correctly? Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? 95. Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
So we're just voting on the 9,500.
Yeah,
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 now we're
'cause
going with.
the motion only says water calibration, that's the 9,500, not a treatment plant plan. Yeah. You're correct. Okay, I'll say it again. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried. All right. We'll move on to item number 12, reports. Kelly.
Did get downtown swept. We've been working on some electrical. Took a little time getting Larry Schwaybeck's water service did not work. We worked on that for a couple days. We had our lovely outage Friday night.
I
Yeah.
was glad you were in town. As you were saying,
Can you go
hey.
through and see what, to kind of share with people what happened to Paullina and the surrounding towns and the difference and how that all came together?
On our line coming into town, there behind Brad Foreman's, there's a pole back there. In the from what the NIPCO told me, looks like somehow a bolt came loose and dropped all the insulators down onto the arm below it.
From the wind maybe, or is it just bad, or was it just regardless?
Yeah,
Or maintenance.
well, I mean, we inspect those every year, but that, I mean, on top of a cross arm that's 60 feet in the air or something, we can't,
How big are those insulators?
they're probably that big.
And you lucked out then to get one from Kruger. How come they happen to have one? Or
They
don't
just,
you know?
they just did a new line into town.
And that's why. Is that something we should have on hand, or is that
I
okay?
mean, for the most part, NIPCO has all that stuff, but I am gonna order
Okay,
probably enough stuff for 1 or 2 poles and have it on hand.
okay,
And get the cross arms for it.
yeah. I mean, it was thankful they had it,
Yeah.
because otherwise, would NIPCO then go back, or where would they have to get it
Yeah,
from?
they would have to go back.
So did NIPCO make the repairs then, or?
Yep.
Okay. So it's that feeder line you showed me when we were out looking at what?
Yep, it's like 3.5, 4 miles out of town where the switch is. That's the same switch that they're gonna move to the road.
Which will make that easier.
Yep.
They haven't done that yet, though.
Nope.
Okay.
Even if the switch was at the road, however, this would have still happened because this was on one of the pole lines between the new switch location as well in town, right?
Right.
This would make a good case to have a generator.
You probably get a million calls.
I always
That's
use
for sure.
Now, where is that generator that
Right.
you have? Yeah, I figured that too.
So what about the surrounding towns that were out and what caused those? Same,
Ours caused it, and like right after it happened, I was on the phone with NIPCO. I talked to the control center, and then Tom Birkenpass, who's in charge over here, he called me and asked me to drive the line right away just to save time while they're driving. And me and Trent started in town here and just started driving out through fields and whatnot until we found it. So,
And then
and by the
they,
time, we maybe found it like 15 minutes or so before NIPCO got to town, so that worked out good.
and then they could put the other people on, well. we-
Yep, and then, yeah, once we found out where the problem was, then they went to the switch, opened it up to get all the other towns on. So I think the other towns were on at like, I don't know, 7:30 or 8 or something.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Hard to find in the desert, huh?
so what would happen if there were crops in the field?
You just drive through.
Let them yell. You want lights or what?
Yeah.
Yep,
Because we have an easement
yep,
Yeah.
along that way.
Right, right.
yep.
But you actually found it out at Corman's.
Yeah, I mean, back behind this place is where it was.
The old railroad extractions.
Yep.
Thank you for your extra hard work.
Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't 20 below like it was weeks before.
Yeah.
And we
Some
did,
good things about it.
and we did last week just trim all the trees on the railroad property so we could drive down there with more ease, which was perfect timing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea.
Good.
Good thing done.
Yeah, that's all we got, I guess.
Okay. Michelle, do you have anything?
Met with Wade from MRAS last week. He talked about rebates and pushing the rebates a little more. We will make our goals next year because of the school, because of the rebates they'll be getting. And I did talk to him about the library.
Oh, good.
Yeah, their furnace is natural gas, so
So they can't do anything.
no, unless they decided to put in like a combination heat pump,
Okay.
then there'd be some rebates.
From MRAS.
That
I'd
way.
seen it in the MRAS magazine, so I think I would have to ask them.
And then I did reach out to Tim Miller at MRAS for a new rate study. So
Okay.
they're pretty backed up. He said it'd probably be towards the end of 2025 before it would be completed. He said the 20% raise was a good starting point. And he said in the meantime, if we wanted to implement a rate change before the rate study, he could do some work and do that, but I don't think that's a good idea.
No, maybe we raised it 2 years in a row or whatever it was, something like that. I think it should be, I think, is what to do it.
Right.
Okay.
We do have a meeting scheduled on 3/11 at 9 a.m. for the Swanson Commission. Gonna meet with the school and go over stuff and
Have a discussion and a review, and so this will basically be considered one of the, we're supposed to be having 3 commission meetings a year, this is one of those.
right.
Okay.
So we're gonna have people in attendance do that, or?
It'll be me and Nicole and Steve going. Just a heads up, we might be digging up Broadway, or East Broadway, over by Maple. Mwamba fixed his water service when they dug up the shut-off. It is galvanized on our side, which probably means we have a lead gooseneck. Anytime we dig that stuff up, we gotta replace it. And that water main is basically in the middle of the south lane on the Broadway, so we'll have to go. I'm gonna get a hold of TC and see if maybe they can bore it for us, but that might not be an option either. I know they just brought it in and get fixed, but.
We have to go under the boulevard, then right to the other side of the street.
Good.
They can bore something like that, can't they?
If we can, yeah.
Be a little different material as far as the pipe, right?
Yeah. We might have to, yeah.
What diameter is it?
It's 3/4 going over there.
Oh.
All right. Anything else? Okay, in front of you have city council appointments. It's this, I didn't reappoint this year. I looked back this year at what our ordinance says. And the practice has been, I think the council has selected new committees each year. But our ordinances say that we appoint people after each election, so every 2 years. So I left them the same this year, but I just wanted to clarify that because I don't think I made that clear before. I want to make sure that we still have operating committees. Let's see, we're waiting on a offer regarding the clinic. They were going to be here. My understanding was that they were going to be here this meeting. What they had told me was the next meeting. They didn't realize we had 2 meetings a month. So when they told me that, that was on the second meeting of the last month. So they thought they had a month to put it together. So the current plan is that they're going to submit before the next meeting, they're going to submit an offer to the clerk's office so that can be distributed to us and we'll be able to see that. And then I left it open to them if they wanted to come to that council meeting and make any kind of presentation or just ask us to consider their offer. So they'll most likely be here. We'll know if they're going to be here or not if they have that offer in place. And that's really it there. Move on to city council comments and committee reports. Anything else that anybody has? Okay. Departments, please. Anything, Nate?
No.
Hours coverage is going okay?
Okay, yeah.
Do you think you want to check, I've seen that there's a rotor from Spencer from Remsen that's doing it. I mean, is there anybody else you would like to see if you can get in a third one or not? And he can help you with your hours?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, I don't think it would hurt to call.
From a time frame, yeah. So what, I'm sorry, what did you?
Well, I wondered if you wanted to get a check, because I seen
But
this.
yeah, I guess I'm not aware of what you saw or heard.
I just seen it in the paper, that there was a guy, another one working for Sutherland,
Paul Remsen.
and he was from Remsen, Harpenow maybe?
Will Roeder,
Huh?
did you say Will Roeder?
I was Roller, yes.
His first name's Will.
And then the other one was John Sells, and he's outside of town here. I didn't know if he'd be somebody that would be interested, because he's helping Sutherland also. There'd be two gentlemen. That would give you maybe one more.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's mainly, at this point, it's mainly the available, when they're available.
Right.
More than anything else.
Yeah,
As
but it doesn't hurt to call.
Time of day.
Okay. Let's see, fire ambulance, library, airport, here. No information to committees from any of those right now, I don't think. Okay. All right.
We adjourn?
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say aye. Carried. We are adjourned.
Holy moly. 6:30.
6:30. Her birthday is today. All of the grants with that.
And I've got a grandson that's an 80 on his 20th birthday.
Oh.
I suppose they can't party together very easily.